What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Fire podcast, where we want to stoke the flames of freedom every single day. My name is Kendall Bowman. We got a crazy story. U.S. plans to send Abrams tanks to Ukraine, officials say. But before we get into that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me down on all the socials in the comment section. All right, guys, let's get into this. Reversing its long-standing resistance, the Biden administration plans to send M1 Abrams tanks to Ukraine, U.S. officials said on Tuesday, in what would be a major step in arming Kiev in its efforts to seize back its territory from Russia. The White House is expected to announce a decision as early as Wednesday, said the officials, who spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the discussions. Two officials said the number of Abrams tanks could be about 30. Over the past month, Pentagon officials had expressed misgivings about sending the Abrams, citing concerns about how Ukraine would maintain the advanced tanks, which require extensive training and servicing. And officials said it could take years for them to actually reach any Ukrainian battlefields. But Defense Secretary Lloyd J. Austin III has now come around to the view that committing to sending American tanks is necessary to spur Germany to follow with its coveted Leopard 2 tanks. Officials at the State Department and the White House argued that giving Germany the political cover it sought to send its own tanks outweighed the Defense Department's reluctance, the officials said. And we now know, through this article here from The Hill, Germany to send battle tanks to Ukraine. After weeks of pressure from Western allies, Germany on Wednesday announced it will send battle tanks to Ukraine as the Kiev's war with Russia wages on, a move that may spur the U.S. to do the same. Germany is set to send 14 Leopard 2 battle tanks and approve other countries' requests to do the same, answering a long-standing call from Kiev for the heavy combat vehicles. Poland in particular was eager to supply Kiev with the Leopard tanks, but Germany, which makes them, needed to sign off on the move before the tanks were sent to a country outside of the NATO alliance. We got issues, guys. I got major issues with this. Not only is this an extensive escalation in this war and in this conflict, but what do the American citizens have to gain from this? What do we have to gain? Like, think genuinely, think about what's going on in Ukraine right now. They're on the other side of the world. We don't share a border with either of these countries. Yet we, the American taxpayer, are spending billions of dollars to fund a war that will not benefit us in any way whatsoever. You look at every single war throughout history, every single war. Almost every single one of them, all of the sides that were involved believed that if they won the war, then their country, their citizens, their people would receive a gain in return from winning the conflict. Now, you and I might not gain anything, but we do know who will. Lockheed Martin will. The weapons manufacturers will. The military-industrial complex that funds these wars and pushes them further so that thousands of people can die just so they can make some money. And it's not the government's money. We all know that the government's broke. It's your money. The American taxpayers will gain nothing from this conflict, just like in Afghanistan and just like in Iraq. We will gain nothing, but we will foot the bill instead. And at the end of the day, I want to ask you, where do you honestly think that these weapons are going? Who do you think is going to have these weapons put into their hands? I want to show you who's going to have it in their hands. Who are Ukraine's far-right Azov regiment? From Al Jazeera. Azov is a far-right, all-volunteer infantry military unit whose members, estimated at 900, are ultranationalists and accused of harboring neo-Nazi and white supremacist ideology. Accused, that's a funny word. The unit was initially formed as a volunteer group in May 2014 out of the ultra-nationalist Patriot of Ukraine gang in the neo-Nazi Social National Assembly, or the SNA. Both groups engaged in xenophobic and neo-Nazi ideals and physically assaulted migrants, the Roma community, and people opposing their views. As a battalion, the group fought on the front lines against pro-Russian separatists in Donetsk, the eastern region of Ukraine. Just before launching the invasion, Putin recognized the independence of two rebel-held regions from Donbass. A few months after recapturing the strategic port of Mariupol from the Russian-backed separatists, the unit was officially integrated into the National Guard of Ukraine on November 12, 2014, and exacted high praise from the then President Petro Poroshenko. "These are the best warriors," he said at an awards ceremony in 2014. "Our best volunteers." Now, who founded Azov? The unit was led by Andriy Beletsky, who served as a leader of both the Patriot of Ukraine, founded in 2005, and the SNA, founded in 2008. The SNA is known to have carried out attacks on minority groups in Ukraine. In 2010, Beletsky said Ukraine's national purpose was to, and I quote, "lead the white races of the world in a final crusade against Semite-led Untermenschen," otherwise known as inferior races. Beletsky was elected to parliament in 2014. He left Azov, as elected officials cannot be in the military or police force. He remained an MP until 2019. The 42-year-old is nicknamed Belivazd, or White Ruler, by his supporters. He established the far-right National Corps Party in October 2016, whose core base is veterans of Azov. This right here. These are the people that will get a hold of our weapons. You know, we funded the war in Afghanistan between the Afghan rebels and the Soviet Union. We were giving them weapons, we were funding them, and then we ended up fighting them. I wonder what's going to happen with these guys. Now, I know what you're thinking. They only got 900 members. But, of course, the Taliban didn't have a whole lot of members either at first. And then they started recruiting. They started bringing people over to their cause. So while people on the left in the United States will look at you for being conservative or being, having Christian beliefs or conservative beliefs, they will look at you and they will say, "Oh, you're a white supremacist. You're a neo-Nazi. You're evil." And then they will turn around and they will send 30 M1 Abrams tanks to an actual group of Nazis. Incredible. Just incredible. Guys, we have to speak up. We should be blowing up our representatives in Congress. We should be blowing them up, calling them, emailing them every single day. We should be protesting this in the streets. If not for the fact that, if not for the Nazi stuff, just the fact that we will gain nothing from this. And us and our children and our children's children will end up footing the bill. All for some rich elites who run these weapons manufacturing businesses just so they can make some money. It's disgusting. It's not okay. And war is a racket. We got to stop this. We got to be protesting. We need to be in the streets protesting against this. We need to be blowing up our representatives. We got to speak up, or stuff like this is going to continue to happen, just like it did in Iraq, just like it did in Afghanistan, and even before that in Vietnam. We cannot keep funding these wars, escalating these wars that kill thousands of people, just for us to foot the bill in the end. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm just incredibly frustrated by this. I'm going to have another video for you guys tomorrow, another show for you tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Later, guys.